Hello friends, welcome to my video on water chemistry. Today in this video let us discuss what is biological oxygen demand and chemical oxygen demand. First let us see what is BOD or biological oxygen demand. It is the amount of oxygen required by microorganisms to oxidize the organic waste present in 1 liter of sewage water or wastewater under aerobic conditions at 20 degrees Celsius and for a period of 5 days. So, chemical in the form of oxygen required for the microorganisms to oxidize the organic waste present in 1 liter of sewage water in aerobic condition at 20 degrees Celsius for a period of 5 days. Dissolved oxygen we can determine using Winkler's method, amount of dissolved oxygen present here. Now this is biological oxygen demand. So dissolved oxygen we can determine by using Winkler's method. So we can determine initial dissolved oxygen before subjecting to oxidation. Then after 5 days at 20 degrees Celsius, the final dissolved oxygen. Then we have the dilution factor. So BOD is equal to initial dissolved oxygen minus final dissolved oxygen divided by the dilution factor. So here we have the unit in terms of parts per million. Parts per million. Dear friends, now let us see what is chemical oxygen demand, COD. So it is defined as the amount of oxygen consumed in the chemical oxidation. So here we use oxidizing agent potassium dichromate in acid medium. So chemical oxidation of organic and inorganic waste present in 1 liter of wastewater. So chemical oxidation of organic and inorganic waste present in 1 liter of wastewater using acidified potassium dichromate. Now COD is expressed in milligram per dm cube. Milligram per dm cube. We measure it COD in milligram per dm cube. Now let us see what is the experimental method to determine chemical oxygen demand of wastewater. The principle of the method of determination of COD is the oxidation of organic matter and inorganic matter using chemical oxidizing agent. So here oxidizing agent K2Cr2O7 in acid medium, in acid is used. It is the oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent. So this oxidizing agent is used in order to oxidize the organic and inorganic matter present in the wastewater. Then in the presence of a catalyst, so here we use catalyst silver sulfate. Silver sulfate is the catalyst and mercuric sulfate. Silver sulfate and mercuric sulfate are the catalyst, which forms a complex with chloride ions present in water, thus preventing its interference. A typical reaction that takes place during the oxidation, we can write it as the reaction that takes place during the determination of chemical oxygen demand. Now this is the organic impurity present in water in presence of acidic potassium dichromate Cr2O7 2-. It gives the product 4Cr3 plus carbon dioxide plus 11 water. Now here acid medium, this is potassium dichromate. So we use the catalyst silver sulfate Ag2SO4, then mercuric sulfate HgSO4. So here the carbon is oxidized to carbon dioxide and we get chromium 3 plus and 11 water as the product. Now this is the reaction involved during determination of COD using strong oxidizing agent in acid medium potassium dichromate and catalyst silver sulfate and mercuric sulfate. Now let us see how actually the reaction or experiment is done. So during the determination, we take 25 ml of waste water or sewage water into a clean conical flask. So 25 ml of waste water is taken in a clean conical flask, or we can take it in a round bottomed flask. Either we can use large conical flask or round bottom flask. A known excess of potassium dichromate is added into this. So K2Cr2O7 is added excess, and it is acidified by adding 1 test tube of sulfuric acid H2SO4. Now we have acidified potassium dichromate, then 25 ml of waste water, then mercuric sulfate and silver sulfate, then silver sulfate Ag2SO4 in the form of catalyst. Then we can connect the reflux condenser. The reflux condenser is connected here. Reflux condenser is connected and it is refluxed for 2 hours. Refluxed for 2 hours. So we have to heat and refluxed for 2 hours. After 2 hours of refluxing, the contents are cooled and transferred into a flask. Then 5 drops of ferroin indicator is added. After refluxing, cooled, then added 2 drops of indicator. Indicator is ferroin indicator is added, and after that it is titrated against standard FAS solution. Then titrated against standard ferrous ammonium sulfate solution, taken in the burette. Now it is taken in the burette. So from the burette we have to add. So here the color change, red color changes from blue green. So initially red color, then bluish green to reddish brown. Bluish green to reddish brown. Now this is the end point, color change, end point. So near the end point, color changes from bluish green to reddish brown. Then we have to take the volume of FAS required to react with the content present in the conical flask after adding the indicator ferroin. Now before going to the calculation, we need to perform another titration called blank titration. Now in a blank titration, the same amount of distilled water is added in place of wastewater. So without taking wastewater, potassium dichromate, acidified potassium dichromate, silver sulfate, then mercuric sulfate, then distilled water. So in blank titration, we use water, that is distilled water, plus potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7 in acidic medium, then silver sulfate Ag2SO4, then mercuric sulfate HgSO4. These things should be added and performed and titrated against ferrous ammonium sulfate solution. So here we get what is called V blank. It is called V blank, and the earlier one, it is the burette one, we call it as V back titration. Now this is called V blank titration. So using this blank titration value and the actual titer value, we can calculate what is the chemical oxygen demand of given wastewater. We did two types of titration. One is called back titration and the other one is blank titration. So back titration is done without wastewater, with wastewater, and blank titration without wastewater. So here 25 ml of wastewater, then potassium dichromate, silver sulfate and mercuric sulfate in the conical flask, and it is refluxed for 2 hours. Then it is cooled and added 2 drops of indicator ferroin and titrated against a standard FAS solution taken in the burette till the color changes from bluish green to reddish brown. So this titer value what we get here is called V volume of back titration. It is the actual titration with the 25 ml of wastewater. That is called back titration. So V back titer value. Same way we do blank titration, where instead of this 25 ml of wastewater, we use 25 ml of distilled water. So 25 ml of distilled water, potassium dichromate, sulfuric acid, mercuric sulfate, silver sulfate, and refluxing, then cooling, adding indicator ferroin, then titrate against FAS solution. The titer value what we get here is called blank titer value. Blank titer value. So we have one is V back titration. This is the actual one with the distilled with the wastewater, and the other one is V blank. Now this is with the 25 ml of distilled water, V back and V blank. So both will get it in ml or cm cube. So here we have V blank, then V back in cm cube. Now let us see how we can do the calculation. Now here actual volume of potassium dichromate consumed, that we can calculate V blank minus V back in cm cube or ml. Normality of potassium dichromate is known. Let us say it is 1 normal or 0.5. Let us say N K2Cr2O7. Volume of wastewater. Let us take VSS 25 ml. VSml. Equivalent weight of oxygen we know it is 8. So using this we can calculate what is COD. For that we need normality of FAS, ferrous ammonium sulfate. So FAS is taken in the burette. Then we have the actual volume of potassium dichromate consumed, that is V blank minus V back. The titer value V blank is always more than V back. Why? Because here potassium dichromate is not consumed. Oxidation does not take place. Why? Because we use only the distilled water. But here in the case of back titration, we use 25 ml of wastewater. it contains organic impurities, it is oxidized. Therefore V back is less than V blank into equivalent weight of oxygen, that is 8, divided by volume of the sample, wastewater, how much we are taking, volume, into 1000 liter, then into 10 to the power 6, this is parts per million. So this is the equation we have to determine chemical oxygen demand of given wastewater sample. So here we do two types of titration, V blank as well as V back titration. So based on that, so we calculate what is chemical oxygen demand. So here chemical required, potassium dichromate, then sulfuric acid, then we need sample, that is wastewater, then in the form of catalyst silver sulfate and mercuric sulfate, then indicator is ferroin, then titrant, the solution which is taken in the burette, it is standard FAS solution. So this is the experiment what I am explaining for the determination of chemical oxygen demand. So in this video I have presented you what is biological oxygen demand and what is chemical oxygen demand, as well as determination of chemical oxygen demand. So definition, then we explained how chemical oxygen demand is determined. Thank you very much for watching my video on water chemistry. Here of course we discussed on biological demand and chemical oxygen demand. In the next video let us discuss about sewage water and its characteristics. Till then, take care, goodbye, thank you.